we say maybe 30 or 40% of officers going forwards will have come from a university of, not necessarily Birmingham, but a university air squadron background.
The Junos, one of which is also, I think, going to be ferrying the Typhoon display pilot back from Coningsby later, but also with other helpers, of course, provision of air traffic services in part, and as a hosting base for the likes of the Rafale and the Red Arrows. So now if you look to your left-hand side, you can see the glider and tug combo. Up the two 1200 horsepower Pratt & Whitney Twin Wasp radial engines and started to take off roll the consolidated PBY-5A Catalina. An incredible endurance of up to footcraft, and in fact 2 VCs were awarded to captains of Catalinas for courageous attacks on German U-boats. In many ways, this was a hugely innovative design for its time. It's got a so-called wet wing, which means it incorporates extra fuel tankage, leading to a considerable overall weight saving. As you can see, it's a very slippery aircraft aerodynamically, so low drag is helping it achieve such good performance. And it's also got retractable wingtip floats. And you can see that demonstrated on this pass from left to right. Again, the fact of their being retractable helping further reduce the drag of the aircraft. And then came, as I mentioned, the further improvement into the amphibian, which was in the air-sea rescue role. II, when air sea rescue services began to develop on a few Catalinas. Production under that point having been largely reserved as far as the American forces were concerned for the US Navy and Marine Corps. The loss of that particular OA-10A Catalina. And those early air sea rescue efforts, rescuing downed military aircrew during wartime, the forerunners to the much broader air sea rescue as it used to be known now search and rescue service, of which we commemorate 70 years in RAF service here at Cosford today. The Catalina from plain sailing into land, captained today by Angelo Cunningham.
As he pulls 5.5 G, converts his speed into height for his first maneuver, course of Clover. David John is now exposed to DJ or Gibbo. He was born in Southport and started his career in the Royal Navy in 1996, where he trained to fly Sea King and support helicopter roles. DJ dived down before he redeemed his airspeed to achieve 1,300 feet to the top of the course of Clover. Operationally, DJ has flown Sea King in a variety of areas, including Sierra Leone and the Persian Gulf. He's also spent 3 years flying search and rescue missions off the Cornish coast. DJ now rolls 90 degrees whilst pointing straight up before completing a stall turn at Robert 0 at sea. DJ is now serving in the Royal Air Force. When not displaying, he's responsible for training qualified military pilots to become instructors on the Grub Tutor.
As I say, running in from the left. The aircraft in the hands of Captain Bertrand Butin. He's an instructor conversion unit. Into a loop with rolls at the apex on what we call the B axis. The A axis is the one running parallel to the main runway here at Cosford. The B axis at 90 degrees to that. Back in towards us. Pulling up into a half Cuban maneuver, looking as though it's going to initially be a loop, rolling off the top, brief right edge on the way down, and turning back in towards us into a negative G outside turn, showing you the aircraft's upper surfaces. 2004. Operations over Afghanistan began in 2007, and they've been much engaged in that theatre along with many others in the years that have followed. Over Libya into the cities of Tripoli and Benghazi. Now a slow roll down the line. Another combat zone where Rafale will see a lot of service. Serval, with some very long-range sorties by this aircraft, one of them the longest in French Air Force history, with 4 Rafales hitting 21 targets in a mission from their base at Saint-Dizier in France to N'Djamena in Chad, that lasted 9 hours, 35 minutes. Now an inverted pass. Air-to-air missile, the AASM Hammer precision-guided munition. Now a slow pass from left to right. In towards us on the B-axis once more. With double rolls into a derry turn, rolling one direction, turning the other. It's either a helicopter or a kite, I'm not sure which. And that completes another quite brilliant sequence. Coming to Memorial Flight Display for 2022. Here you can see the fighter pair. We have MK356 and incredible VR headset system which has the Lancaster footage on there, and you can see her flying, and you can sit in the back of the cockpit and experience that for yourselves today. And then we see that perfectly line abreast formation of the two Spitfires. Now, as well as the displays you're about to watch today, the BBMF conducts fly-past events all over the country, from village fetes to state occasions. We're exceptionally proud to participate in the fly-past at Buckingham Palace to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, seen by millions across the world. I just had the call saying fighters break, go. Incredible VR headset system which has the Lancaster footage on there, and you can see her flying, and you can sit in the back of the cockpit and experience that for yourselves today. And there we see that perfectly line abreast formation of the two Spitfires. Now, as well as the displays you're about to watch today, the BBMF we're exceptionally proud to participate in the fly-past at Buckingham Palace to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, seen by millions across the world. I just had the call saying fighters break, go.
plus 2 chipmunks that we use for training the pilots. As you can imagine, our small cadre of dedicated engineers is kept very busy looking after 5 different aircraft types and several different marques. There's a changeover into Flight Lieutenant Andy Priest. There we see the Spitfire pulling up into the manoeuvre that we call the half horizontal into a descending left-hand turn. So Andy is now going to be looking at the left, finding yourselves on the crowd line and bringing the Spitfire around into the 360 pass. As we see him descending now back down to the crowd line, he's going to go into the oblique 360. So from the crowd centre, it'll look like a horseshoe as he climbs up off crowd centre. Now as we see Andy pulling up into this 3/4 victory roll, he's going to roll right and then pull back left. And then he's going to be coming. So here we see Andy pulling up into the victory roll, and if you look to your right hand side now, ladies and gentlemen, you'll see Squad Leader Mark Lung in MK356 entering the display line. These World War II aircraft are preserved in flying condition as a living tribute to those who serve their country. And this year marks the 65th anniversary of the formation of the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. You all to enjoy today. And then we see that lovely 360 pass as Mark climbs into another 3/4 victory roll for Cosford 2022. I'm sure you'll agree that is one incredible sight. And what we can see there is the Spitfire keeping the power on. He's and as they come towards the crown line now, they're going to be turning left. So you're going to get a perfect shot now of the elliptical wing of the Spitfire and that incredible Union Jack underneath the Typhoon. pilots that have spent years and years training, Flight Lieutenant Andy Priest being one of them in the Spitfire we see today. You may have noticed him from the tutor display beforehand, and he's flown a multitude of aircraft from Domini, Harrier to Tornado, so he has a perfect set of skills to display in front of yourselves with the Typhoon today. Get ready for the Typhoon and Spitfire break. And please give a big cheer for the Royal Air Force Battle of Britain Memorial Flight for 2022.
Coningsby and Royal Air Force Lucas, crewed up, sorry not Lucas of course, now at Lossiemouth, crewed up, ready to go, we call it Quick Reaction Alert.
Yes, at Coningsby are to be found numbers 3, 11, 12, which is the joint UK and Qatari Typhoon training unit, 29, the operational conversion unit, which provides this aircraft, and 41, that's the operational test and evaluation unit, squadrons. At Lossiemouth, numbers 1, 2, 6 and 9 squadrons. We shouldn't forget number 1435 flight, stationed at Mount Pleasant in the Falkland Islands, guaranteeing the air defence of that territory 40 years on from the conflict there. It's full range of multi-role capabilities.
Indeed, and it's a capability that continues to improve. Been in service for quite a long time now. We don't think of this as a new aircraft, but has been in service for a good number of years. Capabilities keep being added. This is going to be a frontline aircraft for decades to come.
In Syria. In fact, it was over Syria last December that there was a real affair. High speed pass now to pitch up for a half horizontal. Knots. Afterburner engaged on the 2 Eurojet EJ200 engines. is his final departure. Flying Wessex in civilian hands in the world. This ex-Royal Navy rescue platform, but also, Andy, it reflects the involvement of the Wessex in Royal Navy service 40 years ago in the Falklands, doesn't it?
Indeed, and as we talked about very early on in the show, exactly 40 years ago today, Wessex was lost during the Exocet attack on HMS Glamorgan. That was an anti-submarine version, the HAS-3. Glamorgan came under attack, turned its stern onto the missile. The missile came over the top of the deck, it didn't hit the hull, it went straight through the hangar. Wessex was temporarily resting.
Yes, both some older HAS-3s like that and HU-5s like this one, this variant, twin-engine variant, that was developed for the Royal Marines Commando support role, served in the Falklands, deploying Special Forces members of the SAS and the SBS, the Special Boat Service, moving men and material around the South Atlantic Theatre, but it did indeed come at a cost. 9 Wessex were lost there, 6 of them in the for many years. It was much later acquired by Andrew Whitehouse for his historic helicopters collection. It flew again in February 2019, and you might well have seen it feature in a TV series, the name of which I temporarily forget, about different aircraft restorations. 10,000 hours were spent on the restoration of this machine, and it's part of the 4-strong historic helicopters deployment to Cosford for today's show, which is unprecedented, landing over on the far side. And it was one of the true legends of the airshow circuit flying it for us, John Beattie. An aircraft that didn't just go on to be powered by an engine of British design, but which also stemmed from a British requirement for new fighter aeroplanes. Or it could come up with something superior. Designed in 1973.
Allied fighters of the Second World War. In at 3, the Hurricane. In at 2, the Spitfire. Top of the pile, this aircraft, P-51Ds. Rightly recognised as one of the missed over the years because they didn't have the sort of high altitude fighter capability and the long range fighter capability that the later Merlin engined examples had. Them in that role, in the tactical reconnaissance role, until pretty late in the war.
marriage that occurred in no small part because of the friendship between Ian Campbell-Ord, the RAF officer commanding the Airfighting Development Unit at Duxford, and a Rolls-Royce test pilot called Ronnie Harker, whose job was to act as liaison between Rolls-Royce and the company's engine customers. The idea was duly cooked up, a Mustang fitted with a Rolls-Royce Merlin and test flown once again at Duxford. These are the markings of a 4th Fighter Group Mustang flown by Colonel Don Blake. Together.
Slightly different ones.
really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell to be notified of every new video on Mondays. You'll also be able to see me stream live on YouTube. Thanks again, I really appreciate it. Have fun modelling!